Welcome back to another episode of Teachers in Transition, the podcast and the YouTube channel. My name is Kitty Boitnott. I am the owner of Boitnott Coaching and the founder of Teachers in Transition. I am a heart-centered career transition and job search coach who specializes in working with burnt-out teachers who are ready for a career change, but don't know how or where to begin. If you've listened to this podcast or watched the YouTube channel in the past, you know that I alternate topics each week because in addition to being a trained and experienced career transition and job search coach, I'm also a certified stress management coach. And I know that stress and burnout go together. So I offer 1 week information about career transition strategies. And on alternating weeks, I talk about stress management strategies. This week, the topic is career transition. And I know that we are in the middle of heading down the stretch of May, looking at the end of the school year approaching at any time now. I saw a post today from one of my LinkedIn colleagues who announced that today was his last day of teaching after 30 years. I don't know if that meant that he had finished the year or if he was taking off for the rest of the year and it was the end of his career. I'm not quite sure because it's just the middle of May, but it's possible because school starts and finishes at different times throughout the country. And I suppose it is possible that somebody would be finishing up their school year on this would be the week of the 22nd of May. So maybe people are getting out this early. I know in the next 3 to 4 weeks, people will be getting out of school. In my particular area, I don't think the teachers finish until the middle of June, so they still have a few more weeks to go. In any case, for many teachers who are finishing up this school year, congratulations for finishing the year. As you know, many of your colleagues didn't make it. There were people who left in the middle of the year, left in February, left in March, left in April. They're out on medical leave and they don't intend to go back. All kinds of different reasons for people being out and already gone. So if you're still working at it and haven't resigned yet or have no plans to resign before the end of the school year, congrats, because you have outlasted many of your colleagues. Everyone falsely assumed that this would be an easier school year than last year would have been. And it wasn't easy at all. It was apparently it was unexpected that people would not be able to return to a more or less normal routine. And in hindsight, and of course, hindsight's always 2020, it seems like we should have anticipated that after children in many parts of the country being out of school for a year to 18 months, 2 years, to ask them to come back and pick up right where they left off without missing a beat in a whole new grade, having not been in a regular classroom with other students, having been virtual for much of that time. It was just an unrealistic expectation. Not to mention the social emotional issues and the academic deficits that many students came back to school with. So it has been a difficult time. And I know for a fact that even if you have made it to the end of this school year, there are many of you who are listening to this podcast, watching this YouTube channel. Part of the reason you're listening and watching is that you are at least playing with the idea of leaving if you haven't already left. And so what I want to offer today as part of a career transition consideration is to pay attention to a new concept that I'm offering as part of my service. Now, if you've paid attention, and if you're listening for the first time, my apologies. I'm making an assumption that maybe you've been listening for a little while. That if you've paid attention, you know that I do offer programs. I provide training. I have an online course called Jumpstart Your Job Search. I provide it as a do-it-yourself service, as well as a service that includes email support and group coaching, as well as one-on-one coaching for those who prefer to have the one-on-one help. But in this past few months, I have developed an opportunity for people to sign on to the program for a whole lot less investment money-wise, with the concept of if you've ever leased a car as opposed to purchasing a car, you'll pick up on this analogy pretty quickly. And that's what I'm offering, is an opportunity to use the program using a membership concept as opposed to purchasing the program and having it at your fingertips for a lifetime. The original program that I offer provides lifetime service. You have access to the program for a lifetime. You have access to email support and group coaching for as long as you want it or need it, and you can return to it at any time. Once you've paid for the program, you've paid for the program. Any updates that I might add, any additions or revisions that I create, you would receive automatically at no additional cost. Once you've paid for a program, you've paid for it. It's yours for good. But for some people, offering even at the do-it-yourself level without any of the frills, just the course itself, for some people, it is financially inaccessible because they just don't have that kind of money to throw at a course. And when I talk about that kind of money, I'm talking the $397 investment or $67 a month in 6 equal payments. That's the cost of purchasing the do-it-yourself level of service of the Jumpstart Your Job Search program. So recently I came up with the concept of a membership plan. With the membership plan, you have access to the program as long as you're paying your membership fee. It's like joining a gym. You get to go to the gym as long as you keep your membership up to date. If you drop your membership, you don't pay for a month or two, you don't get access to the gym. It's very simple. So with the do-it-yourself version of the program on the membership plan, you can have access to everything that's in the course, the entire 15-module course, and all of the templates, all of the PDFs, all of the live link connections to other resources that I offer in the program. Everything that's available for purchase for $395 or $397, you can get for $27 a month. And you have access to that program as long as you pay your membership fee of $27 a month. Now, my thinking is that anybody who doesn't have a lot of money to throw at a career coaching course, if you go to Starbucks 2 or 3 times a month, cut those out, you'll have your $27. There are other ways that you could cut here and there and come up with $27. $27 for most teachers, I think, is very affordable. And you would only pay for it as long as you're using it. When you're ready to move on to your job search and you don't need the program anymore, you can simply stop your payments. It's not a contract, it's a month-to-month service. You have access to the program as long as you're paying for the program. Once you stop paying for the program, I simply turn off the resources. It's as simple as that. If you want to add email support, you can do that for an additional $20 a month. So you can have access to email support and the course itself, the do-it-yourself version of the course, for $47 a month. Now, as opposed to the other program where I provide unlimited email, I do offer that in this membership program, you would be limited to 1 or 2 emails a week. 3 tops. You wouldn't necessarily want to be emailing me every day because you don't have the same level of access that you would have if you were a member of a paid program, not a membership program, but the ownership program. But you could still email me a couple, 3 times a week, every week. Save up and email me when you have 2 or 3 questions, as opposed to emailing me with every question every time one comes up. And you can have that access for $47 a month. And if you have the resources and you feel like you would benefit from a once a month check-in while you're working on your job search, you can add an additional one-on-one Zoom coaching session for an additional $50, which is what the flat rate I charge for teachers for a one-on-one coaching session, a paid session, $50. So then you would have access to the do-it-yourself version of the program, the email support, and the one-on-one once a month for $97 a month. So you could choose the level of service you wanted, $27 a month for just the do-it-yourself version of the program, $47 a month for the do-it-yourself version of the program plus email support, and $97 a month if you prefer to have the one-on-one Zoom session added to the email support and the course. These are all membership plans. So remember that when you stop the membership, you stop your access to the program. But the truth is that once you have found your new job, you don't need the program anymore anyway, right? And you will have learned the information that you need to move ahead with your career search without necessarily having to refer back to the course that often. So it's an option, an alternate way of approaching the program that I'm hoping will make it accessible to more people. And that is the main reason that I am providing this particular type of access to the program. I want to make it accessible, affordable, something that doesn't feel like it's onerous, like it will cause you to have to sacrifice a lot money-wise in order to have access to the information. My main goal in providing this type of program with this type of financial investment is to help you to find what it is that you want to find in your next career. If you've decided that it's time to leave the classroom, then you should not feel stuck. You should not feel like you have no other options, because there are plenty of options that you have. You just don't know yet what they are. And the program can help you to figure out what it is that you would like to do moving forward. The first 3 modules in the program are devoted to helping you discover with some assessments, some reading. I encourage self-discovery, self-reflection, thinking about what your particular and unique strengths and weaknesses are, what your aptitudes are, what you do well and would be able to do well as you transition from the classroom into a new career. And once you have figured out what your new career, what you want that to be, the next 9 modules in the program are dedicated to the mechanics of the job search itself. How you go about finding the resume template that works for you, the cover letter template that is compelling, the information that you need to provide in your cover letter, how to create a stellar LinkedIn profile, how to network both in person and online, how to use other social media platforms. You really need to learn. One of the modules is all about writing your resume for the applicant tracking system. That module is worth its weight in gold as a standalone. And then, of course, there's the important element of interviewing well. preparing for specific questions that you are more than likely going to be asked as you wind up the process. And you need to also be prepared. The final 3 modules in the program are designed to help you to remember that this is a process. It's not an overnight, snap your fingers, flip a switch, suddenly you have the perfect new job for yourself. I wish it were that simple, but it isn't. You need to dedicate yourself to the idea that this is a process, that it will take some time. It will take an effort on your part to learn the ins and outs of the job search process in today's world. You'll need to develop a functional resume that's going to translate what it is that you do as a classroom teacher into the language of the job description that you're applying for. You'll have to learn to navigate recruiters and hiring managers. You'll have to learn a lot of new things that you have never had to deal with before because you've been moving along in your teaching career. So there are a lot of different things that you have to learn. And as part of that, you have to also understand that it's a process. It will take time. It will take patience. It will take perseverance. And it is a process that you will need to learn how to rinse and repeat as you may receive a rejection. What can you learn from that rejection? What can you gain from that experience so that you can improve your chances in the next application? And repeat until you finally meet with success. So if you're interested in the membership program, reach out to me at kittyboitnott@gmail.com. Or if you're listening to this podcast, or you won't be able to access the YouTube channel just yet for this particular episode, that you may hear this episode on Thursday, the 26th of May. In the evening of May 26th, I am offering a free webinar workshop in which I will explain exactly how this membership program works. And I hope that you will hear this message in time to register and join me. The link for registering for the webinar workshop is in the show notes, so go there to find it. As always, if you would please, as you leave today, review the podcast, give it a 5 stars and thumbs up, and offer a review to help other teachers find this podcast for people who need this kind of assistance. And if you have any other suggestions, comments, thoughts about future episodes that you'd like to hear, let me know and I'd be happy to accommodate them. On that note, have a wonderful week. Continue to stay safe and stay well, and I will see you next week.